Hey, let's do this. Get it started. Here we go. Here we go. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 7th, 2025. We're going to write a little code today. How you doing there, chat room? We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. Let me say hello to everybody. There we are. Getting things started here. I'm a little bit late, but we're getting things going here. How you doing there, Napalm Codes? TMKDK is here. Codebase Alpha, good afternoon to you. Reg is here. Hello. VVG online with a big wave. How's it going there? Mythin with a comment on the nice hat. Xcoding, how you doing there? Here, look, we'll even run the hat command. Right? Go ahead, take the picture. Go ahead, you can do it. There it goes. Took the picture, sending it off to the big AI in the cloud. And the response is, of course, there you go. Sleek back. It is the Azure Black cap. Sleek black baseball style cap featuring a prominent blue A logo on the front, designed with a gradient effect for a modern look. The logo represents Microsoft Azure. That's right. It's the perfect hat for showcasing your love for cutting-edge cloud technology. That's right. There you go. We got the Azure hat on today. I spent some time yesterday talking to some of the folks who work on Microsoft Extensions AI. And a question that I've gotten a lot here is, how much does this cost to run? I can tell you with confidence, there are in the APIs that I used for it, there is a series of tokens properties that you can investigate from the result object that responds to that query that I send off to Azure for our app that goes and sends the picture out. It takes about 900 tokens. My gosh, 900 tokens. That sounds like a lot. Over the course of a month, 1 million tokens costs $2.50. $2.50 for 1 million tokens. So, if it's 1,000 tokens to take one picture, we need to take, right, 1,000 pictures in order to get to $2.50. So there you go. There's your recap, dare I say? Recap? Huh? See what I did there? Of the costs involved with that. So I feel pretty good about it's not going to cost me a lot to run the hat bot here on stream. I feel pretty good about that. The new hat command gives lots of info that is too much to read. So I hear you. I completely agree with you. This is a huge block. And I think that's the next evolution that we look at, is what are the next steps to evolving that. Maybe we just have it output, here's the name, and somewhere on screen is the description of the hat. I don't know. We can it's another evolution that we'll go through. The new hat command raises the temperature of the planet 1 degree. No. We don't go quite that far. So, I'm feeling like radio voice has really settled in here. My gosh. The deep radio voice just feels right now. I spent some time yesterday. Oh, wait a sec. One second. There we go. Okay. So maybe user can add arguments to the hat command to get more different details, with the default just being a brief summary. I think I can definitely output just the name, and I want that summary to appear somewhere else, right? Maybe there's a link to more details if you want to click through and read more about it or something like that. But for right now, I think it's working quite nicely. But I definitely hear you that it's It's a lot of data it's putting in chat all at once. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats EDM playlist here today. I'm going to scroll down somewhere here. Let's start here in Digital Dimension. This is music that is, come on, I point to you here, there, and you're supposed to open. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for putting this music together we're listening to today. So we've been working on SharpSite. We're almost done the file system plugin, but we ran into an order of operations issue yesterday where the plugin manager is trying to is late in the game at startup trying to add configuration sections. However, the data types for those configuration sections are needed by the application state earlier in the startup. So we're going to look at juggling that startup sequence a little bit here so that we can get our first plugin, which is a naive implementation of a file system storage working. I'm not going to go too much further on this naive implementation. I'm going to create a series of enhancement bug issues for the plugin that indicate things like we can't have the same file name written to disk that's uploaded, and some other things like that, and being able to persist the MIME type to different locations. Getting that configured and that information sent over to GitHub so that other folks can pick up and contribute some enhancements with some easy direction of here's what's needed. And we can move on to some more challenging architecture things live on stream to build together. It helps to spread out a little bit of the workload. So, all right. Let me put an entry here into Twitch chat. There is a link to SharpSite just below. Completing the file system plugin for SharpSite. And I'll include that link. Hey, Svekos.
Svekos just resubscribed for 12 months. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. There we go. There's the project command, and I'll pin the message. There we go. So 1 year with us. Thank you so much. The default configuration section needs to be saved to app state when the plugin is accepted. I think that currently you have to actively click the submit button. You're right, Codebase Alpha. We do need to, at save time, write the configuration into application state. Yeah, at upload time, we need to write the configuration section. You're right. That's part of these few enhancements we need to do here today. Additionally, I think we're going to get to a point where you can upload plugins, and there's going to be an enabled, disabled state for plugins. And folks are going to want to have, here's a bunch of different themes that are available, and I want to choose which one I'm going to activate. And you can only activate one of those. And we'll have to tinker with those types of things. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. The fact that we're hitting these types of questions and interesting configuration bits tells me that we've hit an advanced point of configuration and development that is well beyond the basic, hey, I'm just building a blog. So I'm very happy with that. All right, let me dive back in. Let me head back over to the code, and we'll take a look over here. There it is. So I don't have the plugin manager code up over here. Plugin manager. So the plugin manager is a class that manages the plugins, that loads the assemblies, manages where they reside on disk, and makes them available, right, to the rest of the application system so that they can be loaded, unloaded, configured appropriately inside of SharpSite. So what we're running into is when we load the plugins at startup here, there's a section here, register with service locator. Here. That gets the assembly and registers, but then it takes any configuration sections that are defined, right? So custom configuration appropriate for your plugin, and here's the configuration for file system storage that right now just has a base folder name. There's other configuration that we're going to want to add here. Once again, this is a naive basic implementation just so we can start to enable things like embed images in my blog posts. Luke, thank you for the follow. Hello, hello. So the problem that I have is it adds a service descriptor for the configuration section. That plugin manager doesn't happen until line 104, way down here. But the application state that loads and needs to have those configuration sections available is configured and loaded way up here at line 30. So the question becomes, can I move load plugins at startup up higher in the process? You're going to try and make your own CMS for Blazor? How you doing there, Vinny? It's something we've started on. You can see the link in chat. It's right up at the top of chat. It's pinned so you can see some of our progress, some of what we're doing. But we're in that part of how do I configure this? How do I send in and enable more configuration than somebody who wants to write code with Blazor to configure this? And we've purposely gone very bland, very simple. Haven't configured the page layout at all, because I think that's a theme, right? When we think about a CMS, a big feature of a CMS is theming, and the ability to create those themes is one of the first, and that default theme is one of the first more complex themes that we're going to build. So I'm right there with you, Vinny. And I don't know about you, but our group here, our community, our normal viewers, we're compelled to start down this path because of some of the chaos that's been happening with WordPress. So there you go. There's my pitch for SharpSite, what we're building here. So it calls this load plugins at startup to go load DLLs. And does this need to wait until later in the game to run, or can we run it earlier? It needs the plugin assembly manager and the application state. But where's this used in here? When a new plugin is saved, right? I'm inside save plugin. And it adds the plugin in load plugins at startup. Why does it do that? Let's go look. Hey, C# Titan, we're doing well. Yeah. So it adds that as just as a reference, and then finally it adds the configuration section. So maybe our plugin manager at initialization time can load.
Developers.
Perpetually baffled. I'm baffled right now. I'm trying to figure this out. How you doing there? Thank you for the follow. This service descriptors is an internal service collection that gets turned into a service provider, right? Is this right? This is used. Yeah. That way the plugin registered services are sitting somewhere else and they can't collide with the rest of our application's framework features. So if I move if I need the application sections available before this load happens, that goes and attempts to deserialize. Do I need that loaded first? Right, I'm coming at this from both sides, making sure. What did I change in here? Do I need to load it first? I mean, I've added the singleton. If I just move it down here and place it there, does that work? Like, I'm not even going to think about it. Does that work? So, Vinny, what were your motivations to think about building a CMS? Are you on a similar path as us? And we've gotten into some very interesting discussions and quandaries. Quandaries? That's a good word. That may have just worked. Like, just without thinking, it worked. Yeah, that worked. So I didn't have to overthink anything. Configure application state and the plugin manager, and then down here we actually load the plugins and then load application state. So that worked better than I thought. And honestly, I don't like large program CS files. I want to move some of these things out so that it's a little bit simpler. Like this bit here for registering and loading Postgres, this is going to be moved out. This is going to be moved out eventually into a plugin, into reconfigured as a series of plugins, and will end up being one method call here. Crows
4K just resubscribed for 75 months. Hi.
Hey, Low, 75 months. Thank you so much for that support. Really appreciate 75 months, more than 6 years with us. Thank you so much, my friend. Svekos asks, is this a long stream today or need to leave for 2, maybe 3 hours? I'm probably going to go for another 2.5 hours. Yeah. I would normally end at 1. I have a meeting at 1 that I need to take about our stream next Tuesday, which is going to be our .NET Conf wrap-up. I've got a handful of guests joining us, including Maddie Montequilla to talk about .NET Aspire, Rachel Kang to talk about .NET Maui. Dustin Campbell is going to join us to talk about C#. Now we can get more out of the new C# language features. And I've also got Luis Quintanilla, who's going to join us to talk about all the cool stuff that we can do with AI and .NET Aspire. Richard Campbell is going to join us for a little bit. And I've even got somebody joining us from Project Uno to talk about some of their cool new features. All of that is next week live on stream here. And you know how I run these streams. When I have guests, we talk to the guests. They don't just give a presentation. We talk to them, and we learn a little bit more about what they're building, what they're working on. I hope you join me next week. That will be a longer stream, to be sure. All right. There's my promotion for next week. Okay. So I want to simplify this in the future. This I feel like we can simplify a little bit. I'm okay with this for now. I'm okay with this. This I feel like should move out. Just to simplify things. This is actually very descriptive. I like the way that these read. But this I want to move out as well. Yeah. Let me create another extension class here to just try and simplify a little bit. So I already have plugin manager here. Let's create another. Let's call this plugin manager extensions. No. And move that. Thank you. And I'm just going to move in a couple of these bits of configuration so that we can simplify it to just one line of code and make that type of configuration stuff somewhere else. Next week, it's your annual work New Year dinner barbecue. Nice. Will it be recorded? Oh, yes. So ads start in 30 seconds here on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, no problem. Yeah, live and not Memorex. That's right, John. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. The YouTube is recorded and available immediately. So, yes, indeed. And the channel name on both services is identical. It's C# Fritz. So I'm going to move. Yeah, I'm going to move this out to plugin manager extensions. Public static. Right, builder is, what is that? Web application builder. Didn't mean to do that. No, that was fine. No. Web application builder. And it's one of these. And add plugin manager and app state. This web application builder. And I'll just go up here and paste that in. Now, why doesn't it like that? It's not null. In which case I can remove that and that. So now here, add plugin manager and app state. That makes it, that looks easy. 2-hour meeting block ahead. Oh my goodness. Yuck. And I'm going to move that little bit of documentation to right here. Paste that in. And I don't really need those. Yeah. So now I get a nice, there you go. App state, we don't have app state now. Maybe instead of returning web application builder, we return application state. Now, hang on. This doesn't... This doesn't have... Oh, boy. I think we just stepped in something. Hey, McNets and Dr. Cox. Hello, hello. If we don't load application state here, it doesn't have... It doesn't have that configuration. So hang on, maybe... Here's where we set that. And there's where we save it. Maybe I set it right there. Plugin manager initialize. Where is that? Yeah, we can move that in there as well. Yeah. Right. Because this just makes sure that the directories are available. Yeah. And that only runs once at startup and runs very, very quickly. So good call. I'm on board with that. No. Oh, what have I done? That's better. But this right here, I feel like I can move this into here. That's not what I wrote. If I do something like this, then I can set that, but I need... Those hub options are passed in there. So I could receive iService provider, right? Can this be run on a Linux machine? Oh, you betcha. Oh, yeah. That's right, Jordan. Even though I'm building here on Windows, nothing I'm doing is Windows specific. So one of the next features that we're going to build is a Docker container descriptor, so that we can put this into a container so that we can deploy and run it easily, not just on Linux machines, but anywhere, right? So I'm way on board with you on that, Jordan. Wanting to have portability is a big tenet of what we're trying to deliver. So yeah, thank you for reminding us. So if I run this and I pass in, right, if I were to say at load and pass in, right, yeah, there's the service provider. Then I can go over here. Then down here, I can do this post-load configuration. Right? My thinking is at some point we're going to want to register. We're going to want to register things to be configured from plugins that this will loop through and call. Some sort of a directive that'll be able to... some sort of a event handler that we'll be able to call into. But for right now, what I can do, I can kind of steal this. Set the max upload size. Yeah, that. Do I need both? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. That's what I needed. Now, Copilot knows that that's the code because it has the whole context of all the files that I have open above me there. So the fact that... Where'd it go? The fact that I have change max size, it knows what this is. And keying it in there, it kind of figured that out. I'm going to remove the async on this for right now. And just return, yeah, task completed task. For now. Until we need to do something asynchronously in here. So that, what that means I can do, that can go away. Let's just comment it for now. Let's make sure that it works. Where am I missing a comma? What? Oh. Right. Silly me. And What? Run it again. Because you're supposed to be called this. Cool. Here we go. And we'll try changing that file setting, restarting it, and making sure that it runs. So it says 50 there right now. I'm going to change it to 10. And I need an indicator here that it did properly save that. Reloaded, and it works. So let's stop the website. I'm on the Aspire dashboard here. So .NET Aspire. And that just reloaded. It's rejoining the server. Good. And it has the appropriate setting. Terrific. So looks like that refactoring to simplify things is working properly here. To do, provide an event that plugins can register for to provide some additional actions to be taken after they are loaded. Okay. How you doing there, Scott? Hello. My Secure Gift. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Right now we're using Postgres, and I have all my Postgres code isolated into two class libraries, one for the various application services and another for my security context. Eventually, these are going to turn into plugins so that we can swap in different database implementations. You'd like MySQL? Fantastic. You want SQL Server? No problem. MongoDB? Piece of cake. Here we go. So the idea is that this should be an option at some point. And since we've been building out this plugin architecture,
Blazer Mr. Magoo just resubscribed for 78 months. 78 months. Still in my prime.
Thank you, Mr. Magoo. Really appreciate that. 78 months. My gosh, that is 6.5 years. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much. That is amazing. I really appreciate that support. So, these should be something that can be loaded in. And now that as we've built out this plugin manager architecture that supports the website, we will come back and refactor this default implementation so that it can be swapped out in the future, right? We've been moving forward and building and developing with this mentality of very lean, very shippable software each step of the way. Now, we haven't done any theming yet, so it's a little bit clumsy. It's a little bit raw in the way that it appears. That's okay, because one of the next pieces in the next milestone is let's build that default theme. And we're still learning. Absolutely. So, C# January next year, all the Johns. Go downtown Philly and do all kinds of stuff with the Johns downtown. We might be able to do something this month. So we might be able to do something this month. And I've got something special coming up for our Philadelphia area friends. We're going to try and do something in person locally here. A live stream that you can join locally and we'll have a lot of fun with. Yeah. So, is it a Philly cheesesteak cooking stream? No. And we need to come back and tune the bot even more so that some of those Q&A that come in, they get an appropriate set of information coming back. I'm going to remove this because we don't need that anymore, right? Enable detailed errors I'm fine with. What was the other one down here? Here. The loading plugins at startup and making the plugin manager. So let's copy these. I'm going to create one more extension method in here. Public static. And we'll return the plugin manager. Activate plugin manager, and this time we need app, which is the web application. Oh, and we need app state as well. No, I wasn't ready to build yet. Application state. All right. Plugin manager equals. Now, why don't you like that? No, that's fine. So we need to be an async task here. Right? I spelled that wrong too. Oh. Activate. There we go. Yeah, I'm still working here. What? Oh no. I hit my DuckDuckGo key and now it's DuckDuckGoing. It's DuckDuck gone. Return. Really? No, that's not even what it was supposed to be. Plugin manager. All right. And now I can change this. Yeah, see, here's another place where there's a hook that we need to replace. I can replace all of this now with app. Get the right name. Activate plugin manager. Really? And we need to pass in app state. And this needs to be awaited. I have a feeling. I have a feeling we're going to end up wrapping some of these and simplifying. But we took this from, what, 120 lines of code down to 94. It's getting better. Let's move this also. Let's move this also. Yeah. Public static. No. Configure plugin file system. Not quite. This web application builder. See, this is where I'd like to have a little bit of feedback that I'd like to give Copilot to say, that's not what I want. I've told you 3 times, shut up. Like, no, this is what I want. Like, and I think it's web application at this point. Right? Yeah. So now I can go back over. And we can just say, like that. With the idea that we're moving all the configuration that's specific to the plugin manager that gets a little bit dicey. We can move it to one place so it's easy to see it, to visualize it, to understand it, and we can test this stuff in the future, right? It's easier to visualize and talk about. Indrak, I'll come back to your question in just a second. This is going to need to be built out a little bit as well. And I don't know what that looks like yet. But this is going to need... when we're adding additional assemblies here, if it's coming from the plugin manager, can I move... I think sitemap and robots text, I think, are also missing. Can I move... Can I move that up? Let me go to Indrak's question. For .NET Aspire, does the database live in a container on the same host as the other containers? What's the guidance for doing this in production? Just make sure the data and log files are persistent. Indrak, great question. In .NET Aspire is an orchestrator and configuration for all of these services running locally on your developer workstation. So it's running in a container here locally. That way we can start, stop, and knock it down as necessary when we change projects. It also means that when you bring new developers onto your team, they can clone your repository. If they have Docker Desktop already installed, they don't have to do anything to go configure and work with their local database to get it all running with the same options that you have on your workstation. It just loads up appropriately, and because I have my project here that does the migrations, it does the migration, and it looks the exact same way as your database. When you get to production, you can change where this publishes to so that instead of publishing as a container, you can say publish to the Azure Postgres database. Use that service instead, so that instead of using a container in production, because I completely agree with you, having it run on a container on the same host would be desirable, but even more desirable, use the managed service. That's going to be cheaper, easier for me to manage and work with, and provide more resiliency than just a container hanging out there. So you can configure the publication from the .NET Aspire configuration so that it pushes to your favorite service in the cloud. So My Secure Gift is starting their first program project, decided to build with .NET. Fantastic. Welcome. You're working on database design? Okay. Sylvan Ord, you agree with that? Really like Copilot, but sometimes just needs to get out of the way better. Yeah, it can be really helpful, but if it doesn't have the right context, and I tell it to go away, Like, I want to have a pause Copilot. Copilot, I'll tell you when to come back. I want you to pause for 15 seconds. I want you to pause until I tell you to come back. Give me, Mom and Dad are talking here, kid. We'll get back to you in a second. Right? That type of thing that we'd like to be able to push back on. My Secure Gift asks, have I migrated your ASP.NET 4.5 app to ASP.NET Core? Yes, I have. In fact, that was the topic of my session at Microsoft Ignite, was exactly that. Take a look at the Upgrade Assistant that ships with Visual Studio. It ships with it. It's also an extension. And then it'll help you with that migration. It's a good 45-minute session where I talk through and I show how to migrate an ASP.NET MVC application to ASP.NET Core and take advantage of some of the great things, including getting that application that I migrated working with .NET Aspire. And then our friend Luis Quintanilla gets it running with Olama so that you can do some cool AI things with it at that point. Xbox One Online, how you doing there, friend? Comments, as a feature for Copilot, I'd like to have an indicator to see if it does something right now after I typed, or it's drinking a cup of coffee and I don't have to wait for a result. I like the idea of some sort of a thinking spinner, thinking indicator for Copilot. Like if I'm typing something, there's nothing in this corner of the editor. Give me a watermark up here. That's the right. That's the here. Where's the Copilot? The little Copilot icon spinning or something, or a right, or stars spinning around its head or something. Some little animation to show me that it's thinking. I'm way on board with that, and then it also gives me ability to just reach up and click it, or a hotkey that I can hit that says, I want you to pause for a little bit, and I'll come back to you. So I like those ideas, Xbox. I want to reach out. Let me get your feedback on this, chat. We've done a bunch of work with the localization here inside of. Why did you open over there? Open here in the middle, so everybody can see you. We've done some work with the localization of various prompts and things in the user interface, and we've got comments and information going across for all these different languages, and that's fantastic. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a Copilot button you could click here that would take your neutral value and your neutral comment, and just like we wrote our prompt, do the translation, the missing translations for you? Wouldn't that be cool? I think there's something to that. Right? Then it just generates it and save and you're done. Or sleeping if you escape out of result. Yes. Go away for 5 seconds. Right. If I hit escape to cancel a Copilot suggestion, go to sleep for 5 seconds. Just go to sleep. Come back to us. So I think there's I love those as well. How you doing there, Saber? There's a topic pinned to the top of chat you can take a look at. This would be a feature for Copilot Pro. Sure. Automated translation that came with your new Ice Auger at Christmas. Digging Ice Cave is kind of not what you're looking for, I don't think. No, you're right, no diff. However, let me go back to that interface, and ads just kicked in for the next, and so pre-roll ads will be turned off for the next hour. The comment here gives that context, so that, to exactly your point, an Ice Auger could have a comment that gives that context, so it's clearer exactly what it is that we're describing, right? So this is the type of thing that we did with the Sharp Translator project. And you can find the source code for that in my GitHub repository as well. And that goes through and uses OpenAI to generate translations for resx files. Yep, that's right, Saber. That's the goal. We're very early here, but we're building this plugin system that's going to make it easier to work with. I moved some things around there. Let's see if this still works. Ads are still running, but that's okay. I'm not doing too much here that's going to lead some of our friends astray that are watching the ads. Let me click through, and this should still work. Yep. So we need to clean up a little bit of this look and feel, but that all works. There was something else about the file system plugin that we wanted to address. I think it was Codebase Alpha was saying something about it. I can't remember what you mentioned. Default configuration section needs to be saved when a plugin is loaded. That's what it was. Hey, Robson. Did I solve the loading issue? Yes, that's what we were just looking at here. I just moved around the loading interaction, and it works now. So what did I do? No. So when a plugin is loaded, it adds the configuration section, and then it saves. Oh, no. Wait. Wrong one. Here. So when save plugin is called, extract and install plugin. Yeah, it doesn't add plugin to the list of plugins. This is going to need to change. Developers. How you doing there? Is it Dent Javi? Hello, welcome. Register with service locator. Actually, that adds the configuration section. So at application state save time, it should save that configuration. Should. Yeah. Let me commit the code that I have right now. So SharpSite web plugin manager extensions. Fixed web load order for app state and plugin manager. All right. Oh, I forgot to turn on the keyboard cam. Ta-da! There they are. Right. Did I think I just... There you go. Am I still using Newtonsoft? Yes. And that is working for me right now. So here inside plugins, I have the application state. And there's what that looks like. So I really should put indentation on this. Because it's a pain in the neck to read. So configuration sections, file system storage, and there's the type. There's the section name, configuration, which, where's it getting that from? It's, I'm not reinstalling the plugin. It's still using an older version of the plugin. But it does have my base folder name there. You think configuration sections, well, it's not an array. It's a dictionary with the name of the section. That way we can look it up. When we need to reference and load it. Right now it's if it was an array, the section name is sitting there. I could get rid of that. You're right. I also don't want this to be settable outside of here. If I made it an array, then it's more difficult to add to it because I have to resize the array and add. Let me leave it as a dictionary for now. Right, that should still work. Just flipping that to private. There's definitely, I feel like we definitely want to secure this a little bit more. Loading the website. There it is. And it works. Okay. What else? I think the file system plugin in its naive initial state works, but it's naive. Yeah, secure. I think I'm done this initial bit then. That's the next thing to build is the connection to the post and page rich UI so that you can upload and embed. There was something else that when the file system we need to create the folder that we specify, right? Where is it? Down here. Right, so add file, get files, remove file. Okay, yeah, it is there. Create directory in the plugins folder. And that name. Okay. I'm okay with that. So when I changed when I changed my configuration so that it's foo, it didn't create a foo folder. Which means I need to reset the configuration. I need to reload. Right, so after this happens, after that happens, for the plugins that depend on this configuration section, I need to reload them. Go back to the plugin manager. Right here, you. So it loads it, and does it actually... It doesn't actually create an instance of that registered plugin type. So when does it? It's right there when it configures the file API. And that happens after. When does this get called? Because if you change the name of the base folder that you want the file system to save to, we should go create that folder, reset the file configuration so that it goes and starts loading that appropriately. It didn't call into that at all. Why not? That should have been called, right? Restart. Okay, map file API. It's going to get the iHandle file storage, yeah. Create directory in the plugins folder for why is it it's in create. Where's the call stack? This external code is inside here. But it doesn't, the configuration base folder name is not being loaded. There's the file system configuration section. this isn't loaded. Right? Not plugin manager. Here, the file system configuration. Yeah. So this doesn't have the version that was loaded by application state. You follow what I'm hitting here, chat room? So application state isn't being used to load those configuration sections here. So after application state loads what I'd really like is I'd like the plugin manager, when it needs a configuration section, to come over here to application state and get it. Can we do that? Right, do you see where I'm kind of twisted on myself here? But does... So at this point, it has the plugins. They're available. If I were to pass the plugin manager in here, this is very tangled. Right? At this point, the configuration sections, I have them all. Can I reach back into plugin manager and update this service descriptor for that configuration section? Yeah, I've got a keyboard cam. That's right. How you doing there, Anna? Yep, it's not just a split keyboard. Right, there's more to that. There we go. Can I... I think I can. Right? Internal void update configuration section. Okay, string. How's that? How's that looking? Wait a sec. Application state is here. I don't... I could put an event in here. That's right. It has a DuckDuckGo button. You're welcome. How you doing there, Lou the Crow? I could put an event in here. Yeah. Yeah. Right? And that load time. No. If configuration section changed, raise it. There we go. So then over in Plugin Manager, let's look at the order of things. Gets the plugin manager load plugins at startup, and then that. So after it's an event. There we go. Right, there's the invoke. No, what do you mean you can't find it? It's right there. What? App State, there it is. There we go. No, not appstate.save. Update the registered configuration section. Yeah. We'll add replace it. Maybe. I think I can just do get type. Is the service type. And then I think it's just E. Yeah. Now why don't we like that? Because it's not async, that's why. I think that'll work. See what happens. Application state is it is a singleton, yes. Hey Frank, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, this is the Digma Defy keyboard. It's got magnetic wrist rests. And there's different color keys, and of course it's a mechanical keyboard, so you can swap in and out all the stuff. Oh, okay, that was quick. Wasn't expecting to hit that so quickly. Where's my call stack? So I am in the middle of application state load, so it's going to go and update the configuration sections, map the file API. Yeah. Did it create the folder? No. No, did not create the folder I was expecting it to. Come here. Come here. I want to step through that again. Let me step through that. Step through that. All right. So at this point, it's giving me a file system configuration section that has the base folder name of foo. Good. So it's going to put that in the service descriptor. And it's going to do our post-load configuration. Okay. Map the file API. Good. It's going to go get the iHandle file storage. And here the name that it's going to create is uploaded files. It's got the wrong folder name. Why? Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Restart that. I want to see this. That's the default folder name, so it's not picking up the name of the folder that I saved. So either I've got duplicate descriptors in there. Yeah, there's already 3 in there because it loaded configuration. So, right, the default implemented instance has uploaded files. So now if I go back into my list of service descriptors, now it's got 2 for file system configuration. So I think I need to remove the old one first. Right? Can I do that? Is that a thing? I should conditionally check that. There it is. So if there is a file system configuration type, go remove it first, and then go re-register. That's what I wanted. Yeah, see, right? It's classic problem of I thought it would replace the instance that was in there, and no. No, it didn't. So now at this point, the list of service descriptors, there should be 2 in there, yes. And it doesn't include the file system configuration section. So now my list of service descriptors does have file system configuration section, and if we take a look at that and the implementation, it does have foo. So it's going to map the file API. It didn't create the foo folder. It didn't create the foo folder. Why? Why? I'm not happy about that. Why? All right, here we go. Go get the plugin. There it is, and it's going to do its create. Wow, it. Really? Do that again. It's replacing the service descriptor. All right, the name it once. Still uploaded files. I didn't rebuild. Right, it's going into service provider, not the service descriptor. I'm not actually... I didn't rebuild the service provider. So it still had the old description in there. Yeah, Xbox One has it there. Need to resolve a new provider when I update it. Okay. And at this point, foo! And there's foo. It's over there. Good. In my plugin config, then, when this does app state save, I also I need to update the configuration section. So when this happens right here, I need to raise that event. I shouldn't be updating that dictionary directly like this. Right? I should have a... And this goes back to protecting that. Hang on, rename this. Because I post-load application state. Because post-load configuration could be something else. Public void. Update configuration section. There we go. We can make this just set configuration set. And then it appropriately invokes that configuration section changed, which is going to reload the configuration into the plugin manager. But this is only being invoked over here at website start time. Which means when this loads, it's going to have the old setting. I need to be doing this so that it goes, gets it, and builds a new one. You see where I'm going here, chat room? Yeah. And I have that properly here the rest of the way through, so that it'll create the folder if it doesn't exist. So if I navigate to API files, it should give me it should adapt now and recreate that. But I don't like, can we move the folder when the name is updated? So that's in line 12 is now defunct. No, because when you first start the website, I don't want this map group to run. So there's no plugin configured yet. So stop. So don't add the file API if there is no file storage plugin configured. Right? So that to Codebase Alpha's question, that's a real good question, and it makes sense to say, yeah, since we're going in and creating it each time, but we're not. We need to have this gate here. But I think we also then need to release the file provider as well. So that, right, I don't need to dispose, but release it so that it's not hanging out there. But I like DGen 1 with the question of, well, how about if the name is updated, can we just move the folder? So, right, that feels like an action that should happen on set here. Or on configuration changed. And do something there. That's not a bad idea. check if the base folder name has changed. And if so, move the folder. I think I want to receive like that. Because I hung create directory and plugins folder. Move directory in no, I don't need to do an if. Else create it. Am I following CES? A little bit. The NVIDIA announcements yesterday are a little bit crazy. A $3,000 PC with so much processing horsepower. Like a processor that makes the Apple M4, what is it, M4 Max processor? Just absolutely child's play compared to it. With that many NVIDIA cores on it is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's going to be that machine specification that they're promoting is going to become the machine that all developers in Silicon Valley require in order to work effectively. It's going to be ridiculous. The new graphics card, the new 5000 series, look tremendous in their capabilities. Twice as fast as the 4000 series. But to be frank, do you really need that much processing power for video? Like, I've got a 3070 in this machine, and for the most part, it sits idle. I'm pushing through how much video rendering right now, and it's sitting idle. Like, if you're not doing high-end AI processing and video rendering, at which point you're going to want an NPU if you're doing AI workloads on it. So, right, the push is, oh, do all your AI things on this. I think they're over pivoting on it. Folks aren't there yet that they need that level of AI processing. The average person is not there. The average developer is not there. So, like, it's impressive. It's really cool. I think it's about 3 or 4 years early for society. It's really cool. I think it's really, really early. So, like, folks aren't there yet. People are still scared of AI. Hey, Frank.
Buchero's just resubscribed for 39 months.
It is definitely a hacker workload. Yes. I am way on board with that. The thing about CES is there's tons of new products from folks that are thinking big picture, all kinds of stuff. But the thing to keep in mind when you look at it is how practical is this for the average person, the average developer, the average tech, the average engineer, the average technician. So that was my next question, VVG Online. When my NVIDIA card kicks in here, number one, it sounds like a plane taking off in here. Number two, the room gets a couple degrees warmer because I've got all these fans on here and they're now kicking off all that heat into the room. Yeah, I said to be frank, and there's Frank. So, I mean, fantastic technology, looks amazing. But how many companies are going to be diving in that deep that they all need it? They're coming with 128 gig of RAM on the NVIDIA Digits box. Right? Is that what right? That's what they're calling it? Project Digits or the Digits machine? And cool. Really cool. You could do a ton of processing on that. If you're not working in high-end data analysis and machine learning and building those models, are you? Do you really need that? That's the name of this module I'm building. Okay. So I need to give a way to trigger this method, right? Do I make it an event on this? No, I don't want to make it an event. Just a... Yeah. Let's just pull this signature up to the configuration section. Now this means I'm going to need to rebuild my plugin. Not terrible, but I'm going to need to rebuild it. Oh, this is going to need to be one of those. Right? Let's just call this old config. Right? And then I could do that and that. Let's just say if no. Is not null. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Yeah, I can do that. Cool. So now I can go back to wait a sec. I can go back to the invoke, right? Here. And before I remove it, tell it to move. This one. Old section, yo. So then I can tell it remove. But then what I'm also going to be able to do here is say e.onConfiguration changed. It's not it, no. The old section is old section, and the plugin manager is this. Now, why doesn't it like that? It's a service descriptor. As SharpSite configuration section. That could be null. Yeah. So let's call this old section descriptor. Do I really need to do a null check on this? What I should do it doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? I'm okay with that. Because it knows it's there because it already did the get. It already found it. Yeah, that's... So then this can become... And now when we save, it'll reload. Mods with the resub.
For 80
Tier
months.
3. 80 months. Oh my gosh. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate the support. Welcome, welcome. How you doing there? This is a good little bit of plumbing that we're doing here. I'm calling the change event on the old instance. You need to move it to the new instance and pass. The new instance is the one that's being passed. Right? Is it the one that's being passed in? Yeah. E is the new instance that's coming in. So I'm calling configuration changed and passing in the old section. So that should do the move at that point. Put a break in here. Let's give this a try. Because I may have gotten tripped up there and wandering back and forth between the code. You might be onto it. Let me give this a look. Right, and I need to rebuild the plugin. Where'd I put that method? There we go. You gonna give me a suggestion here, Copilot? I have a feeling. Move the directory specified. There we go. Directory move. Let's put some carriage returns in here to make it easier to read. So move plugins underscore old name to plugins underscore new name. And then yep. Now I should probably check to see if the original folder exists. Check if the old name directory exists. Do I really want to throw an exception? Or do I want to do... That's fine. So let's go rename the folder, which... Right, I created a foo folder. So let's rename it to something else and see if it renames this folder. We should put something in the folder also. I'm just going to put down a new text document. Like, there it is. I don't care. Oh. Okay, here's what I was saying about I need to rebuild the file storage plugin. So, yeah. Because we changed the interface. So, let me go up one. Let me delete all of these things. Right, and this is exactly the type of thing we need to do when we uninstall a plugin as well. Ooh. Okay. No. All right. I now have, what the heck? So let me grab, here's the file system. I think I just need, those two. Okay, I don't need the PDB. And I need to rename it. And I'm just renaming it to make it, yeah. So let's grab this. I'm going to label this 011. And let's add this to a zip file. SSPKG. Oh. No, no, no. Where is it? Show the extensions. Thank you. When I did that video the other day, I hid extensions so that it looks better. Does this cope with a config section that has multiple folders defined in it? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Now let's restart it, add the file plugin manager, and see if it boots up. How you doing there, Mars? Howdy. Howdy, howdy. So at this point, there's no file system plugin. Yeah, this is going to attempt to map. It's not going to find anything, and it should just load up. There it goes. Go into site admin. There is no file system, and it's not available as a plugin. Let's add it as a new plugin. File system plugin. I'll choose the new one. There it is, 011. Accept. There it is. File system storage. Uploaded files. It did not create the uploaded files. It didn't create it because we don't call into the on change when a new section is loaded. Right? So when we extract and install plugin here, lays out the content on disk. Yeah. It registered the section. Go away. Because we got this. It registered the configuration section.
Developers.
Hey there, Husker09. Welcome. You don't happen to be from Nebraska, do you? It's nice to finding a coding stream that's not game dev. Yeah, absolutely. So that extracted and installed. Then it's going to register with the service locator. Oh. Here. And it looks through and it goes, finds the registered plugin attributes. And if it finds a configuration section, okay. But what if we were to call this and pass in null for the old configuration? How's it going there, Husker? Welcome. Right, so can I... take this and say on configuration changed. And then that gives an opportunity that gives an opportunity for that to do the create. Does that make sense? Nice to see a C# stream for a change. Thank you. Yeah. We're going to be here most days coding. I think that works. I think that does what I'm looking for here. Do I need to change this signature to that? I think I do. Right, so that you know that it could be null. Yeah. I think I need to make that change. Which means I need to repackage the... Now, so many code projects on Twitch are games. Yeah. So let's remove this, go into my uploaded collection, remove that. And this should have the configuration section in it. Yep, there it is. So good, it put the configuration section in it. But now I need to rebuild. I just rebuilt. So let's go grab file storage, bin, debug, 9. I just rebuilt you. Oh, that's the abstraction, not the plugin. This one, bin, debug, 9. You should be in here. Okay. Let's update the manifest. And this is why I need a little bit of a tool to help with this. Right? And this is going to be file system plugin 012. Oops, forgot the extension. Yes. Okay. Let's try and re-upload it and see if it works. When calling the onChanged method, should it be awaited to allow for an operation? I think you're right, Mots. Right, and the move directory. These two should probably be tasks as well. Because move, right, those could be... So this is a task, good. Configuration section, on configuration, it is a task. But you can't, right, you can't mark a... No. So that does return a task. Hey, Chris Jones. Yeah, so the code for handling the config change is part of the plugin we're installing. Yes. No, that should work. No. But it says it's awaitable. Or is it because I'm not in an async type? That's what it is. So if I make that, then this needs to be an async task. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I missed the parent function. You're right, Husker. Hey, fossils, is the function I'm awaiting marked as async? It's an interface, so we don't know. It might be, it might not be. In the case of the file system here, so these two methods, right? Thinking further about these, right? Creating a directory on disk, this should be a task as well. Yep, I know. Right? Where's the other one? Here. Yeah, from result. Yeah. Same thing down here. That means I need to rebuild the plugin again. Yeah. Could add null value handling. Open that as an issue. Let me come back to that. You're right. Let me come back to that. Where am I going here? So that means inside here, right? And then this can just be return. I don't even need return, right? Just in case there's some sort of a delay writing, updating disk. So that corrects that. But I've changed the syntax inside my plugin. I need to rebuild the plugin. And I mean that's fine. It's repackaging and changing that. I don't need to do this here now, right? Taking that type of an action in the constructor is, in general, that's bad. Don't do that. Now the construction and management of that folder is handled by the configuration section, which makes more sense. It becomes the responsibility of the plugin to say, hey, go create a directory in the plugins folder. When we have a different type of file storage, right, that's using Azure Blob Storage or S3, we'll have a similar on configuration change that reaches out to Azure or S3 and says, hey, make sure this container is available that I want to write into. So I think we're okay there. Okay. Moving on then. Rebuild this. That's the directory info. What the heck is going on here? No, I'm okay. I don't want to create. I need to get that folder. So let's enhance this one more time. To get that folder. Get directory in. Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. So good that I did this now, right? No. No, that's not what I wanted. Plugin manager, get directory in plugins folder. Yeah, base folder name. Yeah. How's it going there, Palin? That should close that up. Good. Let's rebuild the plugin again. I didn't even push the 012. So file system. Back to the artifacts. There it is. Grab that name, delete that file. Yes. Rename this, give it that name. And compress to, zip file. File system plugin at 012 SSPKG, right? Yep, good. Now let's try and load it. Potato Cat management system? No! What's the little cogwheel looking thing on the left of the screen? It's for my motherboard. Where'd it go? It just disappeared. We don't need you right now. All right. Plugin management. Add it, choose it. There it is. Accept. There it is. File system storage says it's pointing to uploaded files. Uploaded files. Let's put something in here just so there's something in here. This is my first file. Okay. And let's rename this to foo. Did not move it. No. All right. Let's walk it. Let's walk it back. Oh, I didn't update this so that it does that raise. Right, it was like update configuration section, set configuration section. Configuration section. This is called Plasma Injection from Stream Beats by Harris Heller. How you doing there, Moshiko? I do not have a command for songs. And here it'll mention the latest song right there. So I also should go into application state. I'm okay with that. This I want to... Let me rename this to foo so that it... so that it matches the configuration. Right, foo. So now if I rename this to something else. Okay. It created a folder, something else, and didn't move anything into it. So now if I rename this back to foo. Okay, so old section is old section there, and it's pointing to foo. The new section points to foo. reference type. It's a reference type. It's a reference type, so when we updated and set the value, it persisted it all the way back. That's a gotcha because of the reference type. Right? It's going to reach in and look for and there it is. Because the folder doesn't exist. Right? So it has the old one, and because they're equal, it goes and creates it. Hey, is it Wakar? Hello, how you doing there? Okay. So modify property. It's already updating it when this happens. I don't want it to have that direct reference all the way through, so that as values are changed, it's updating it. I want this to be a copy, not a reference. So that here, yeah, see, that's a reference. So how do we copy that dictionary? Right, that iSharp configuration section. Wee. Let's ask Copilot to do it. Make a copy of the configuration section. Yeah. No. 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 No, no. Let's go look this up. C# copy. No. Clone a reference type. Right? Yeah. You implement the iClonable interface and you implement clone yourself. No. Hey, Thindall, hello. I could do it through serialization, sure. But I don't know the type that I'm going to be deserializing into. I don't have that type. I have the interface. Right, if I tell it... If I do that... Oh, shoot. All right. But I clonable. Copy 2 feels a little bit nicer. I think serializable is a way to do this without doing that. Because I know it has to be serializable anyway. But I'm going to need Newtonsoft JSON again to do it. Right? Right. Use Newtonsoft JSON to serialize and then deserialize the configuration section. No. Yes. It's a little bit of a hack. I do need to pass in that configuration then that we had in save. Right. I keep misspelling that. And I need that same... And I don't need... No, what doesn't it like here? No, that's not going to be null because I just... So now I have a copy of it. And I didn't need to change my interface. Why not use a memberwise clone? That might be what I was thinking of. That Um, it's it should be there on system object. That's what I thought was there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want it to be equal. No. Yeah, I'd have to create a clone method then. By doing it this way, I'm kind of skipping it, and I know I need to be able to serialize through there. But I'm definitely taking some extra processor cycles to grab that, to turn it into a copy. No, I do want to break there. Okay. Site admin, file system storage. Can I do this? But do that. That might work. Bang. No, it doesn't know the type. It's Microsoft Ignite this year. Ignite.microsoft.com. Search for me there and you'll find it. Yeah, it's the interface. Dynamics? Oh gosh, no, don't, no. If I made that dynamic, I mean, it might work with no, it's not going to work because I don't like the way you're thinking, but at the same time, I like the way you're thinking. It is kind of what they're for. Kinda. Like, dynamic code goes against every fiber of my C# training. Like, what are you doing? What? What's the property? Yeah. So it didn't return it as a configuration section. It returned it as a JSON object. Oh, I don't want to have to. I don't know the type. I don't know the type. Unless, wait a sec. Can I pass in the type? I can pass in the type. Right? And then configuration section can go back to being an SharpSite configuration section. And then I need to... That should work now. Because I'm specifying the type. Should work. No, I'm not going to for each try deserialize. What the heck are you thinking, Billy? All right, so we're going to hit the change where it's trying to load. Yes. All right, so now if we go back in here, and our poor man's member-wise clone works. Okay, so now when I try to save from over here, these two aren't needed. We can get rid of those. Right, so foo is currently there. Okay. Create a text file in here. This is my stuff. There it is. Easy for me to type. No. All right, so that's sitting inside of my foo folder. So now if I rename this to something else. All right, so the configuration section we're saving is something else. Step in. It just set it. Old section is foo. No. E here is something else. So it should move it. Something else. And there's the file. Okay. One last check just to make sure we didn't break it. I'm going to restart the website. Right, and it's trying to go to something else. Good. It still created uploaded files, the default name. We broke that part. But something else is there. It's somewhere, it's coming into here at startup, and it has the wrong configuration. Oh, we had this working. Old config is null, and the base folder name is uploaded files. It's... We're in load plugins at startup. We shouldn't be calling on configuration changed at startup because we haven't loaded configuration yet. Yeah. So I want to look at the plugins here, and if no, it loaded the default file system. It hasn't. We haven't done this. We haven't done the application state loading yet. So let's add to the application state an initialized internal property. Yes, JSON ignore. Has been initialized from the yeah, that's fine for now. So after load is called, and it's copied in these things. So then inside Plugin Manager, here, If the application state is initialized, then trigger the default configuration. Right? So that should prevent that default file folder from being created. Because I added that extra, hey, at reload, at load, go do these things. So it shouldn't call into it. So here it's coming through and it's trying to set the configuration section to something else. And if we look in my folder, it doesn't have that. I'm also going to be right down here in the create. Where'd it go? Oh, it returns the object if it already exists. Okay, I'm fine with that. So there it is, and it does have the content in it. And if we rename the folder again, let's call this McNet's folder. I don't know, I just picked out somebody's name and decided to rename it. Okay. And on disk, it's now McNet's folder, and there it is. There we go. We got it. My gosh, that was a lot of back and forth. But we've added that level of indirection, right? So that the configuration section can take its step to go and manage the things that need to be configured after it's been configured, or when its configuration changes, any steps that need to be taken, right? This can just return task completed task. And the plugin manager now knows how to manage the contents on disk for the plugins and the stuff that it's saving to disk. And application state now has an initialized setting in there so that we can take steps after it's done the initial loading. Yeah, I think those were some big steps that we just put in there. Yeah. Now enabling management of plugin configuration changes and allowing plugins to control those effects. That was a big feature to put in there. Do I want to centralize that section cloning code into possibly an extension method? That's a good idea, Mods. That's a good idea. So I have this here in my base. I don't want to necessarily add it as a method on this, but maybe we add it as an extension. SharpSite configuration extensions. Public static SharpSite configuration section. Clone section. You found the talk? Cool. Cool. I could hang it off of application state. Do I need to hang it off of application state? Or do I hang it just off of the configuration section? If I hang it off of configuration section, will the get type return yeah. Take that, move it over here, do this. And now I can just say return. Yeah, we'll move you to your own file. Okay. Yeah, I know. PowerShell Freak. Hello.
PowerShell_Freak just resubscribed for 60 months.
Thank you so much. 60 months with us. Much appreciate. I see a couple questions there in chat. Give me just a second to finish this little bit of refactoring, and we'll go to your questions. So now I can simplify this to just delete, right? App state dot, yeah. Clone section. No, I don't need, I just need the plugin name. And that should work. So, here we go. Come on. Come on. Yeah. It should have been a simple refactor. I love the questions that I'm seeing here in chat. I want to make sure that I come back to you. Hold that thought. Everybody's going to get their moment here. All right, so we called it McNet's folder, and there's McNet's folder. So now let's rename this back to foo, the foo folder. And now it's renamed to foo. Yes. All right, so that all worked properly. Cool. That was a good refactoring, because it's a block of code that is a little bit too complex to have in the middle of a page like that. So let me add SharpSite web, right? SharpSite config. Oh no. SharpSite web. SharpSite configuration extensions. Refactored cloning code to extension method. And all of these commits are going to get compressed away when I push this out. Let me catch up on chat, and we can dive in and take some next steps here. I've only got 15, 20 minutes left here before I need to run. So let me catch up on some of this here. Let me see. FC Music, it sounds like you're cleared up. Karsten with a question here, right there. Been watching for 2 hours now, can't stop. Oh my gosh. Feels like there's so much to learn from the way I code and explain. AMA tags are on, Karsten. Ask me anything. We'll pause and answer some questions along the way. Not a problem. All of the source code that we're working on, okay, if you're watching on Twitch, it's linked at the top of chat. This is an open source project that I want you to get the code to. I want you to be able to ask questions about, raise issues, take a look, grab some of it. If something I've worked on stream feels strange, if there's something that you want to dig in a little bit further on, go grab that source code, star it, like it, download it, take a look at it. It's free for anybody to interact with, all right? And if you're watching on YouTube, maybe you're watching the recording, it's in the description. Just below is a link to the SharpSite repository. Everything that we're working on is all available there, okay? If there's a task that you want to work on, there's an issue that you think we missed, go ahead, open that issue. Ask to be assigned to an issue, and you can go ahead and work on something, and we'll review your pull request on a follow-up stream. Gyro here, is it Gyro or Gyro? 20088 asks, how did I make the tabs look like that? I think are you referring here on Visual Studio? Right there above me, right? How I have the tabs down the side. So I believe as of Visual Studio 2019, you can change the orientation of the tabs. So you're probably used to seeing them on the top, like this. You can colorize the tabs. You can change the way they appear. Let me go click somewhere over here. There is a tab layout that you can choose here, and you can choose to place the tabs on the left side, on the right side. There's also a series of options. You can even put the tabs in multiple rows if you'd like. I like having the tabs on the right because there's typically not a lot of stuff above my camera here. So I like having them on the right over there. And sometimes you'll see me with the panel a little bit wider so you can see the names of all the files that we're currently working on. I like it over there like that so that for viewers, you can see here's a list of all the files that we're bouncing back and forth and working on. Additionally, there's an option in here. If you go set tab layout, there's an options that you can choose, and you can tell it how to colorize the document tabs. If it's by file extension, if it's the project we're working on, or you can even set up a regular expression that looks at the file name and sets different colors appropriately. There was a way to specify the collection of colors. I don't see it. There was a way to specify the list of colors that it uses, but I don't see it off the top of my head right now. Where my tabs normally are, there's a little cog on the far right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Husker. And then you can choose, it's floated off screen here for me. But, yep. So, thank you, Husker, for chiming in there. SQLite and Unity seem like a good match. They are. The lack of tutorials is sad. That's okay. Do I have good video on entity framework migrations? I believe I do. That I've done. If we go to YouTube.com, it's in the .NET videos, and if we go to playlists, there is a video. No, not that series. No, that's still not my series. I mean, it is, but Learn.NET Aspire with me is not that playlist. There's a Learn C# with C# Fritz playlist that is the series of videos I've done over there. This one. I want to open the playlist. Thank you. No. I clicked too far. And if we go through here and look for entity, get started with Entity Framework Core. There we go. From 4 years ago. There you go. There's a link to me teaching about Entity Framework 4. Entity Framework Core. There's actually 6 of these. There's another one. And another one down here, including database design. So, and that's identity. So, go ahead and check it out. That should get you, this playlist will get you my same teaching style, going through and showing you some examples. You've been a C# developer for 16 years, yet I feel this is a brand new way to learn. Oh my gosh, Karsten, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot where that I feel like this is developer talk radio. And, right, it being that call-in that you can do in chat, I think is something that's fun, something that's interesting. And I'll drop into ad hoc demos. Or like you just saw, hey, I've got a resource over here. Let me go see if I can help you out. The new seeding options in EF Core 9 is the best you've seen. I haven't tried it yet. Entity Framework. I forget what it's called. In EF Core 9. The has data, there's the use seeding. Right? That specifies here's a list of things. The has data feels like it doesn't quite, like, especially if you have identities, unique identities on columns, like a GUID that you're saving, can get a little wonky. Is that the one you're thinking of, Mots? The use seeding method? I think that's the one. So, okay. I think I've got everything done for the file system plugin, so that as a naive implementation, yeah, use seeding. Okay. I think this is done so that, like I said, this is a naive implementation of file system storage. There's all kinds of things here that we should do first. Like when you go to add files, like not just validate the file name, but just writing directly to disk. I'm not sure. And there might be some other security things that we want to do there. But I think for this pull request, we're ready to go. We spent a lot of time building out and defining what file system, not just what file system is, but what a file API is. And I think we can merge this. So there we go. That's merged in. Now that's merged into a build train branch that's specific to this milestone, 0.5. So when I click into 0.5, you see it just has a single commit here that says introducing a file storage plugin. But if you click into that commit, right, it's got all the things that we just built. And all those intermediary commits, they're gone. However, if we need to see them, they're still sitting here in the pull request. Now we're ready. And I'm gonna push off and do this next time. Now we're ready to support embedded images. Because you need a way to upload an image to attach to a post. Now that we have a file system API, we have a way to do that. There's clearly additional things we need to build for our file system management that include a way to browse the files that are currently sitting out there in our system. Right, so let's, need an admin uploaded files browser. Administrators. What am I doing? Let's do this the cool way. What? No, I don't want game bar. Oh, wrong bar. No, go away. H is what I wanted. Administrators need a way to be able to view the full list of files that have been uploaded and are stored with the file APIs. Not sure when we're going to build this yet, but when creating a page or post, we need a file. We need an uploaded files browser component. When creating a page or a post, we need a component that will allow us to browse on the edit page for existing files that have been uploaded and use those in our page or post. That's how you create issues. You know what I mean? Tell me what I'm talking about there. I'm using the dictation that's built into Windows here. Just Windows H. Okay, fine. Windows H, when I'm in a text box there, and it'll start using the enhanced dictation of Windows and write exactly what I'm saying into those text boxes. Period. Now, it doesn't understand some of the slang, some of the project names that we have. Period. For example, it won't correct SharpSite to the project name SharpSite. First off, it didn't even pick up that I said the letter P for SharpSite. SharpSite. Say it doesn't turn it into the project name. But it's close enough that I'm okay with going back and, doing that. That's pretty good. So I'm really happy with that as a way to accelerate the way that I'm typing and getting content into here. Right? We need a custom dictionary. You're onto something there. Right there. Yeah, there's no custom dictionary that we can enhance there. That would be a good idea. I'm trying to... Thank you. Do I know where you can change caret V expanders to the old ones, plus minus? No, McNets, I don't. I'm sorry. I do need to wrap up. I have to get some lunch, and I've got some more meetings. We're going to be talking this afternoon about our live stream that we're going to host next Tuesday right here on stream on this channel, whether you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Twitch, right here. Look at that. My hat's kind of... we're going to be doing a recap of .NET Conf. We're going to have a bunch of our friends join us from the .NET team to talk about C#, to talk about .NET MAUI, to talk about my hat. Here comes OpenAI with a message about what my hat is. Thank you for the follow. There it is. OpenAI took that image of my hat and is telling you that it's my Azure A logo hat. Close. They called it my Azure black hat or something earlier. But yeah, that's Azure OpenAI that reported that. There's a video on my YouTube that I just added that summarized the work we did and has a great code example that shows you exactly how that bot effect worked that you just saw live on stream. Okay? But next week, we've got folks joining us that are going to talk about the latest features in C#, the latest features in .NET MAUI, .NET Aspire. These are the program managers who work on these products are going to be joining us, okay? Rachel Kang is going to talk to us about .NET MAUI. Maddie Montequilla is going to join us to talk about .NET Aspire. Dustin Campbell, who works on the Roslyn compiler, is going to join us and talk about some of the cool C# 13 features, right? And Luis Quintanilla is going to join us to talk about some of the new things with Microsoft Extensions AI, all right? That's next Tuesday. Now, I didn't just tell you about some of those things because it's going to be fun to talk to those folks. There's some sponsors that are going to be giving away prizes during the event, all right? I want you to tune in. I want you to join us next week, okay? It's going to be about the same time. We'll be here broadcasting, and we're going to be going for a couple hours talking to our friends. It's all going to be recorded and available on YouTube, but you can't win a prize unless you're watching live, okay? That's all the time that I have for today. I do need to run. You saw we committed our file system plugin today. It's in, it works. It's part of my 0.5 release branch that's sitting out there in the SharpSite repository. And next time, we're going to hook it up to our pages in our post editor so that we can start to embed images inside of our SharpSite pages and posts. And that's going to make it even more real as a blog editor, as a content management system. We're getting closer and closer to really hitting a minimum viable product, right? So, yeah, right? Much more robust. That's a great way to describe it too, Ionescu. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'll be back tomorrow, bright and early. I'm going to be on for maybe an hour from 8:30 to 9:30, 9:45. All right? I'm doing shorter streams first thing in the morning on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I will see you then if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. There's lots of great videos over here or down below, depending on which app you're using to watch. But if you're on Twitch, let me take a look and see who we can raid over here. Who's out there that'll be fun to connect to? You know what? We haven't raided this fella in a while. We're going to raid Jason Lengsdorf, who's building a game show app. Thank you so much for watching. Always a pleasure writing code with you. Check out SharpSite. There's a link in the description or at the top of chat. Really great stuff that we've been working on together. I want you to star that repository. Check it out. Download the code. Tinker with it. And learn something from it. All right? Get ready to say hi to my friend Jason. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.